some things that were challenges in like adolescence and are now like successes in adulthood would be the care has gotten better as sickle cell has become more recognized throughout the nation, throughout the world, I suppose. It has gotten more recognition, excuse me, because it's gotten bigger and it's gotten more attention because it affects so many of us. Honestly, it affects so many of us. There's a lot of people who deal with this who don't have a voice. You know, um, honestly, it's difficult, but it has gotten more recognition lately, and that's something I'm happy for. I remember growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s, there weren't sickle cell medications for me to take. It was basic stuff: folic acid, multivitamin. If you get sick, take ibuprofen, Tylenol, Motrin. If you're having a pain crisis, those were the only things we had to go to as well. And then we started, getting like morphine and stuff to take at home. And then I graduated to other medicines in adulthood, but there weren't medicines in place for sickle cell. I believe hydroxyurea might have been the first mainstream one that was produced for sickle cell warriors, and I believe that helped a lot. It helped me out early on in my teenage years. I believe I started when I was 14 years old, so that would have been in 2004, give or take. And I believe there was a lot less admissions, and hydroxyurea did help with that. As I got older, it seems like my sickle cell has gotten more aggressive, but it was a long time until there was more sickle cell care in place. Eventually, transfusions, which caused my iron overload from my liver failure, but transfusions was one of the options, and then it evolved to blood exchanges. I didn't start getting blood exchanges until we realized that my liver was in bad shape and they wanted to somewhat reverse it. So we started doing blood exchanges, which is taking out your red blood cells and replacing those red blood cells with red blood cells that don't have sickle cell. um, and that's been something going on for a few years now in my life, especially after the liver transplant. That happened in 2019. But between 2004 and 2019, hydroxyurea was the only medicine that I was taking that was for sickle cell patients. It wasn't until maybe 2021, 2022 where I believe it's Oxybrita, there was Adakveo, what else do we have now? Endari. Those are three medicines that I have taken that have effects on sickle cell. They were to either raise the hemoglobin or make your blood veins slippery, is how it was described to me, so the cells can't clump up and get stuck in your vessels. So those medicines did things like that. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of success with those medicines. I still have a lot of pain crisis even now. And maybe I haven't maxed out on all of those, whatever the case may be. Treatment is evolving, and I believe that is a success story. If these medicines don't work for me, they may be working for other people, and that's really the importance of it. So as we continue to evolve and we find different treatments and better care and hopefully eventually a cure or something to help us out. But a lot of what we do now is just preventative. So just like how it was in my child years, it was preventative then, making sure you're dressed for the occasion or the weather, make sure you stay hydrated. It's all the same things now. We just actually have additional medicines to turn to try for other warriors, and they hopefully work out for them so they see less hospitalizations throughout the year and they have less crises throughout the years as well. A lot of the challenges were those in between times where there wasn't a lot of things to turn to. It was the same old story, Do your best to stay hydrated. If you get sick, go to the ER. Deal with ER complications if any arise, and then you get admitted. Dealing with admission and the other things that come along with that, and hopefully having a short stay in the hospital and going home feeling a lot better than the way that you came in. Some of those are, honestly, those are some challenges still. But having more options in place, having more medicines to turn to, having more treatments available, that's a success story for me. Even if they haven't had success with me, and they may have had success with other warriors, and to me, that's the biggest thing. As long as there's people feeling better after dealing with this for so many years, you know. Um, and I just wish the best for not only myself, but for all the other warriors out there and the people who are helping finding these treatments and different care plans and all that stuff. We thank you for real. Just keep up the good work and keep on evolving. There's a lot of technologies out there. We know about CRISPR and we know about gene editing and blood stale, stem stale, all of that stuff. You know, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but you know, there's options out there, and that's good because 20 years ago, it wasn't. You know, 20 years ago, it wasn't any options. Maybe even 10 years ago, it wasn't as many options. So I look forward to what the future holds.